Good evening, everyone. I'm Auntie Kim. I'm joined this evening with my co host, my favorite nephew, Jamal. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am good. Welcome to our podcast, Get the Belt. We are excited to have you guys join us this evening. I think this is about our third one in, nephew. We're about right?
Absolutely. Episode
Yep,
3.
episode three. And so we are excited to have you guys join us. Always a little housekeeping. Any music that you might hear in the background, we don't own the rights to it. We wish we did. We would probably be doing something else, huh, if we own the rights to the music. The opinions that are expressed during our podcast are our own. I'm gonna tell you, I don't come for me. Jamal might want you to come for him. I'm gonna tell you, don't come for me. Um,
Try me
make
if you
sure
want.
that you make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is also entitled Get the Belt. You can reach us, follow us on our Facebook page, which is also Get the Belt. We have an Instagram page, also Get the Belt. And then you can always follow up with us if you'd like to send us and correspond with us via email. And that's out there as well. It's getthebelt23 at gmail.com. And we'll check that quite often and we're happy to communicate with you. I'm wearing my belt, but I am certainly willing to wear any other's belt. If someone likes to send one to me, I'll be happy to do so. How was your week?
Absolutely.
Was it good? What's up?
Long, very long,
Long
very
week?
rough. But hey, it is what it is. We here right now. Shout out to Dennis. What up, Dennis? Um, it's been one of those weeks. You know, Dennis.
Yes. Hey,
It
Dennis.
is. It has been one of those. It's been one of those weeks. But we here. It's over
Okay.
with. It's a
Okay.
brand new day. Hey, you can't
Yep.
worry about yesterday.
Summer
How was
vacation
yours?
is over. Summer's over. I returned to school this week, and so we started school in the middle of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. For those of
How
you who
them
don't know,
badass kids?
stop it. I'm in my second career, which took me to education. Woo! Bless the Lord. And in addition to being in the classroom at the particular school that I work at, I also supervise our after school program. And it's fulfilling, but it was an interesting week as well. So praise the
I
Lord,
love
God
them
had
words
peace
that you
there.
use.
And so Monday will
I
start the
love the
first full
words.
week. Monday will start the first full week of school, and you gotta
Bless
love it.
your
You
heart.
have to, yeah, you gotta really want to be there, but you have to have a whole new appreciation for education, teachers, even the administration. Not gonna lie, whole new respect for that. So yeah, that was my week. So it came down to today. I kind of stayed in. Libby called a couple of times checking on me, and I was like, "You okay? Mommy's good." Got myself together so that I could be here with you and all our guests this evening. So thank you again, those of you who are with us, those trying to get in, who may join us. Again, the best way to support us is by all means, please go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate that support there.
Absolutely. We appreciate all y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in here, the people who watch. Please like,
Absolutely.
hit the
Yeah.
thumbs up, comment, subscribe
Absolutely.
to all of it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
definitely appreciate the ones that watch after. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are in here live,
Absolutely.
we appreciate you. Thank you, Dennis. To the ones that are coming in, we appreciate you guys as well. But the ones that watch it on their own time, we appreciate y'all as well too. So thank y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you, and I just always kind of be mindful, this was sort of a joke that turned into, hey, let's really do that, to turn it into, oh my, okay, let's do that. We had joked around for years about our interaction and just talking and being together. Um, Probably about maybe a month or two ago, I looked at Jamal, who was here in Atlanta with me celebrating my daughter's birthday, and I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. He said, okay, let's do
Our
this. And
daughter.
our daughter, his goddaughter, my daughter, and we said, let's do this. Gave it the name because that came easy. Get the belt. As y'all can see, I'm wearing the
Why
belt.
where'd the
What?
name really come from?
Get the belt. because because you are all, I know you think you're grown, and I acknowledge that you are an adult, but I am the auntie. And sometimes you get a little flippant with me, so I've had to say to you on occasion, get the belt. Because you think you're grown. Hence, get the belt. Perfect name for the podcast. Get the belt. I know you're grown. I know you're grown, but
You know
Auntie
it.
has her
You know it.
privileges. Right. So
True.
that's, yeah. So get the belt.
Salute to the
And
queen
that's,
first and foremost.
hey. So yeah, so that's where that came, and so here we are, and so anyone listening, we encourage you, if you have a dream or something you're trying to do, as for me, as long as it's legal, I say go for it. And it took some setting up and all that kind of good stuff, and in the backdrop, a lot of different things. But here we are on our third podcast, and feeling kind of good about it. As he said, some of you kind of come, I get comments throughout the week, the backdrop to say, hey, I listened in or I watched and all that. And we just appreciate you. You could be doing other stuff, but we appreciate you being here. Okay.
Absolutely. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. Look at my folks in here right now.
Hey,
My sports laugh and chill folks. I appreciate y'all. Gina, what's up? Whomever is on the page
welcome.
right now. I appreciate
Yes,
y'all. That's my
welcome.
other show, Sports Laugh and Chill, Mondays and Wednesday nights, 9:30 Eastern. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm
So
saying? Thank y'all.
I'm not mad at the shout out. You know what you got to do, what you got to do. Always respect to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
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 Shout out to Gina. Gina, I hope one more thing real quick. Gina, I hope you changed that name. Somebody showed me your graphic. My wife made a graphic for Gina. And Gina's having a thing. She has a long name. It's Gina repping the Bay. And I'm like, go with Gina V. Make it simple, make it smooth.
What's
It be simple. It's off the Richter. It's a whole nother conversation. But I hope she changes it because it just flows with that. That's off the subject, whole nother thing. She knows what I mean. It's just a little inside thing with the rest of us in our little crew. But it's all good. That's all I'm saying. Just messing with her right now. Just messing with her. But let's go.
So, Gina, I've watched the podcast and thank you for being here. Appreciate the support on this end as well.
Oh, our auntie supporting us. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. I am huge on mentoring and reaching back, right? So huge on that
Absolutely.
piece there. And hey, I have a mentoring organization while we're doing shout outs, Shirley's Child Inc. in honor of my mother. And we used to do monthly round sister circles of mentorship roundtables. And we started this years ago. And we have watched three or four other women who came to the circle now doing their own thing. And we're like,
Right.
wow, no hate, no jealousy. Glad to see it. Glad to see it happen. Absolutely. I'm that kind of person. I think you feel the same way. So if we encourage
Of
somebody
course.
else with this, you will look back and be like, hey, thumbs up to you. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got you got you got another thing. You just showed your left arm. So what is about that left arm that you have? What goes on with
Oh,
that?
so I'm also a jewelry designer, Kay Collier Jewelry Designs, and this is part of my jewelry, which is why last week we had to do the podcast on Sunday and not Saturday because I was at a venue showcasing my jewelry, something that a business that I birthed during COVID. So thank you very much. But those are all designs, and if you follow Kay Collier Jewelry Designs, my Facebook and Instagram, you can
Hey
catch me
boo.
there. Thank you, thank you, nephew, for that shout out.
Come on now. See, I always
Absolutely.
throw the alley oops. You know what I
Thank you
mean?
for
Got to
thank you for that shout out. Yeah,
got
absolutely.
to.
And that's important because on the latter part of our program this evening, we're going to talk about sort of some things along that line. So we're
Well, we'll get to
going
that. Yeah.
to get serious. We're going to laugh at yeah. Okay. So can we talk about our end of news this week?
Go with it.
Okay. So listen, there is a gentleman in China. His name is, I think, is Yoko, who has
Uno?
spent. Hey, hold on, I'm gonna tell you the baby's name. I want to get
Oh,
it right. His name is Toko. Toko has spent in excess of over $14,000 to make himself look like a border collie. For those of you who are not familiar with dogs, a border collie would be a dog that looks like Lassie. He spent
Congratulations.
that,
You played yourself.
and if you see the picture, and I sent this to Jamal, the costume or outfit or whatever apparatus is large enough for him to actually get inside of it and be able to walk on all fours. And he is now walking around his neighborhood looking like a dog. $14,000. I have to tell you though, the costume is absolutely beautiful. Scary, but beautiful. The other piece of this is that he has not told any of his immediate friends and family that this is him. So if they see it, they don't necessarily know. But he looks, his dream, his goal, he wanted to look like a dog, and he spent that money. It is beautiful, but if you look at it, he's actually inside this costume, and there's now a woman who's walking him around on a leash, and he walks through the neighborhoods in the park, and he gives out his paws so people can shake his paw and shakes in his head.
Y'all
I
smoking crack.
Yeah,
Something is wrong with you people.
he's smoking something. So I want to know, is this an expensive hobby, an obsession, or mental illness? And if you had a spare $14,000, what would you do with it? And it's
It's
beautiful.
showing.
I love dogs, but it's beautiful but scary. What
It
would you do
showing
with
the
it?
hell ain't about to do no damn. I'm not about to dress up like no damn dog. I can tell you that much. I don't care what the hell. See, first off, I don't. You asked the question. If it's all,
Is it an
whatever you just.
obsession, or
Uh
an
huh.
expensive hobby, or mental
Uh huh.
illness? Mental
All
illness,
three.
which all
All
three.
three. All three. All three. The Richter scale of your mindset is on just straight up weirdo moment. But people have their fetishes, and that's
It
to
is
each
it a
his own.
so you think it's a fetish perhaps, but that's an
Uh,
expensive fetish.
I mean, people buy blow
I
up
wish we
dolls
could
and them
show the
fake
picture.
dolls and everything.
This is different than a blow up doll. This is you he's walking around. He's walking around a trans. Yeah. Somebody asked would that be labeled as a trans
Ooh,
cat, a trans dog. I mean,
that's
and
what I
it's
mean.
beautiful. It's beautiful, but scary at the same time because I had to do a double take. I thought perhaps he had done cosmetic surgery and changed his body somehow. But this is actually a whole costume that allows him to be on all fours. And now someone has a leash around his neck and they're walking him through the park. Obsession, expensive
Congratulations. You
hobby,
played yourself.
or mental health. And here's the kicker, he's not told any of his friends and family because he doesn't want anyone to think he's weird.
If you have to think that way, you are weird. Like, just be you. And that's the thing. Except, this is, see, and I'm learning
It,
this as we go along in my own journey. You have to be comfortable within your own skin to be who you are, regardless of what people think. Live your life. And the way he's sitting up there, if it's weird to everybody else, so what? If that's what you like, do that. Hey, that's your lifestyle, man. It's people out here that want to get walked around as dogs and everything on leashes, in the street, and that's your prerogative. If that's what you truly want to do, by all means, do that. You live your life. It is all good. Do you?
so then he shouldn't be, there should be no fear of letting his friends and family know, hey, if you see that dog walking around in the park, it's me. Is that, I mean, I just, and I guess, and everyone has a right to spend their money how they choose, right? But I'm just thinking if I had an extra 14, but I would probably have all the cellulite sucked up out of my butt and thighs. So somebody else might think that's a bit much. Who sees it? Nobody but me. But and somebody else might think that's
What?
excessive. I'm just, why is that a problem? If he can do a dog suit, why can I not have all this cellulite sucked up out of my body for $14,000?
Bruh.
I'm just
Where are we
asking.
going with this? Where are we going with this? Where are
I
we
mean, if it
going
makes
with
me feel,
this?
even if I'm not walking around naked, if it makes me feel better, but is it, so I'm just saying, is that excessive? Like at some point, do I go somewhere and see someone and go, Quinn says, as long as I'm not
Hey,
hurting nobody.
absolutely. As long as you ain't hurt. What's
Okay.
up? What's up, Liv? What's up, Quinn? Them is our babies
Yeah.
right there. Uh,
Yeah.
look, man, if that's what you really want to do, I'm with you, Quinn. If that's what you want to do, do you. Do you.
Okay.
Just know
Okay.
that you just know what comes with the territory of doing stuff like that. That's it. But if you're comfortable within your own skin to do that, and you got the confidence to do it, see, he don't have no confidence because if you don't want your family to know that you're doing all this and you
So
out
then it's
there
got to,
like that, you ain't
there's,
confident.
so maybe there is some mental health issues with that. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, like I said all three.
Okay. And that's a huge
I said all
obsession.
three.
There are things I like, but I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe I didn't pursue them hard enough to make them come true. But over $14,000 to look like Lassie.
Well, 14 grand ain't about to make me look like no damn dog. I could tell you that much. And if I had $14,000, it sure ain't going towards no. Never mind. I'm
Not to
about to
look
say,
like
but
Lassie.
no, that's not me. Nah, we ain't looking like no dog out here.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay. No. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna call it up to all three. Somebody said the man is off his rocker, but that's what he wants to do. Go ahead. I
It
just
is.
and
It is.
maybe because I and yeah, because I just as you and again, and I know that people make there's all levels of income and everything, but I'm just thinking that I wouldn't even know where to begin to go to someone to say, hey, I would like for you to make me a suit so I could look like a teddy bear. But I want it to be, I just, like, where do you begin to, and I guess we're in the wrong business. Shout out to the companies that kind of make those dreams happen. I need to go buy some stock in companies like that so that I can do stuff like that.
Well, first of all, you said, where are they? Where is he
He's in, he's,
located?
he's Japanese. I believe he's not here in
Oh, well,
America.
he making that in the back room. That ain't nothing for him to make a suit like that. I ain't
He
trying to be
didn't make it.
racist.
He didn't make
You
it.
got a cousin or
So
somebody making it. Somebody making it back there. Somebody in the family is making that outfit. Let's just keep it a buck.
Jamal,
Where's
Jamal,
most stuff made at?
Jamal, Jamal.
Where's
So
most
you,
stuff made at?
so he got a discount at that rate. Is that what you're saying?
Discount. That's bruh. All I got to do is ask one of my peoples, hey, I need you to hook me up with this suit. He probably don't even know. Somebody in the family probably made that
Hook me
joint
up.
for him, and they didn't
Okay.
even know that they was making it for him.
No, they had to because it had to fit his body. He gets inside of it. They had to know
But
it's custom made for his body. He walks
yeah.
around in
No,
it,
no,
so
no. I'm
they
with
had to
you.
know it was for
Yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah, You're
yeah.
right.
I can't spend 14 grand and then I can't get in it. I'm like, what? You realize this is too small, right? You're going to take this out a little bit somewhere in the seams, and how much is that? Okay. So he said someone is pissing him off. Anyway, I just I found it interesting. Wanted to throw it out there. And again, is it obsession, a hobby, or mental health illness? I think it's yeah, but but
All
okay,
the above.
all the above. Okay.
Shout out to the 8,000 in here.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate you dearly. So you brought an interesting story to me, and we're going to go here with this. Lizzo is being sued by three former dancers. Why are you laughing already? Why are you laughing?
I just need you
So
to read this story, please.
okay, so
Please.
Lizzo is former Lizzo dancers say that they were weight shammed and pressured while at a strip club.
Go on. Yeah, read it. Yeah, it gets better as you read it. Look at, oh, please go and read this.
Three of Lizzo's former dancers have accused the singer of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment in a lawsuit filed Tuesday. They alleged that she pressured one of them to touch a nude dancer at an Amsterdam club and subjected the group to excruciating auditions after leveling false accusations that they were drinking on the job. The dancers accused Lizzo, a performer, for embracing body positivity and celebrating her physique, of calling attention to one of the dancers' weight gain and later berating then firing the dancer after she recorded a meeting because of health conditions. The lawsuit also says that they accuse Lizzo's dance captain of is it prophesying to other performers, deriding those who had premarital sex while sharing lewd sexual fantasies, stimulating oral sex, and publicly discussing the virginity of one of them. Supposedly, Lizzo may not have known about all of this, that the dance partner was doing that. And so what some of the dancers are saying that those who did not necessarily care for going to the strip club and did not go were not favored over those who did go to the strip club and participate in all this activity. There's also some religious nature in that because supposedly the dance captain was trying to force some type of religion or religious views on them. I happen not to be a Lizzo fan for
Me
no
either.
particular reason. I am against body shaming. I am against body shaming. I'm a little old school, so some of the stuff that she wears, regardless of her size, for me is a bit much. But I'm getting the impression she wants to be the only fat girl in the show. Is that? I'm just. Is she? I, help me. That's what I'm trying to understand. Are she body shaming somebody else for
Bingo.
gaining weight? So
Woo,
I
man.
do a big girl tour. I'm assuming all the girls are big girls, but you can't be bigger than me. Is that like, was there a weight gain, a weight something? What? What am I missing? What am I missing?
Hey, man. Look, I think Corey Holcomb said it. When you are in that entertainment business and you are the focal point, you never want anybody around you to be look better than you as the entertainer. So
Or in this case,
how do
fatter
you
than you, right? I'm just asking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. Cause I don't get that. That's the part I don't understand is how you gonna sit up here and get mad about something like that because of how people are built. Like, what in that?
Right.
It just don't make sense to me.
The name of one of the tours, it was called the Big Touring. So I'm assuming everyone's stop it, Jamal. I'm assuming everyone is big. Yes. And that's the beauty of it because big girls can dance. I love it now that when you go to
Of course,
schools and
yeah.
colleges and high school, it's no longer all the skinny girls cheering. I've seen some stuff now where the big girls are out there doing their thing. I'm happy to
Yeah.
see that. I was not a
Right.
petite girl myself, but I'm glad to see that. But so you're going to discriminate, but you're going to get mad at me for gaining a little bit more weight than you, so you got to be the biggest fat girl on the stage, right?
I never heard of this in my life. Like, how can how can you really get mad at somebody? You know what I'm saying? It just it baffles me, right? She want to be the only one.
The only one that was
See what
oven
I mean?
rusted, oven rusted. I, and,
Like,
and
it
and
just
as you're
wow.
doing, but here's the point. But as you're doing this,
Mhm.
don't you think that somebody's going to call you out on that, right? Like you've given all this sort of morale and self-esteem to the big girls, and now you turn around and do the same thing. You can be big, but you can't be bigger. I can only be, what?
Nah, that ain't
So
it, dog.
like I can weigh 200, but not 210 or 15. I don't. And the whole strip. So wait a minute, and then we're talking about Jesus and going to the strip club.
Woo!
Are we?
How do you make people like from what I'm told also or what I heard was she was making people in Amsterdam use bananas and stuff and on entertainers and all that type of stuff. And I'm
in
like,
her in her show.
no. They're like the dancers. The dancers,
Okay.
she was telling them that they have to do these type oh, excuse me, these type of lewd acts to the dancers and stuff. And I'm like, how do you get yourself together to do stuff like this? And then when people don't want to do it with you, you got an issue or a problem. Like, I'm sorry, from the jump, when I first saw Lizzo and her appearance and how she presented herself,
Okay.
I was already
Wait a
turned
minute.
off. I was
Okay, but
already turned off.
hold on. I'm going to get the belt for somebody say yes. Stimulate oral sex. I got my belt on. I'm getting ready. Just okay. Come see me. Come
'Cause that's
see
what it
me.
was. But auntie,
Come
that's what
see.
it actually was. You had people that actually
Oh.
thought this way. That's how she was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like she really wanted them. She really about that nasty life and got the nerve. Never mind.
Okay, and to
No,
eat, to each his
no,
own to some degree,
right.
whatever. But how are you? How are you talking about religion and doing lewd acts in a strip club all in the same venue at night or wherever time it was? How does all that work? And how do you not know? How do you not get that somebody's not going to be down with that? Yes, I'm performing in your. I want to perform. I want it to be. They just paying tithes. Stop it.
Bruh.
you know, I'm just. How do you not? At some point, somebody's gonna go. Okay, yes, I wanted to be a backup dancer. I'm
Mhm.
glad that you took me because I weigh 250, but I didn't come on here to also join church and end up in a sex act or at the strip club in Amsterdam. That's is that in the was that in the contract?
I have
Was it
no
you think?
clue.
How do you put that in a contract? I wonder. You like the
Well,
clause in
a
or
lot
like
of
how do you
yeah, a lot of
you
people don't even look at those. So I hope she had somebody or whoever their team was to look at them those because it's no way.
okay. So for
No
all
way.
you prospective performers and dancers and all that, I suggest that you read your contract very carefully. Find out
Correct.
what the
Absolutely.
guidelines are if you're going overseas, like how often you may or may not have to go to a strip club. How often, what type of religion will we be discussing? And will we be doing all of this? What and how much weight can I or can I not gain? So that I'm not competing against
Man.
the star of the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really it's kind of like you remember how I don't know if you remember this, but some years ago with Monique, and she came out there with all them dancers and stuff like that, and they did I think the BET Awards. And they came out there and danced to Beyonce. How you gonna
Yeah.
get mad? You know what I'm saying? At what's going on? It's just certain stuff I just look at and just be like, "Are you serious right now? This is really what we you."
Mm.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. And again, I'm not a fan, so I'm a little lost on it, but it's interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out. Um,
I couldn't
and
I couldn't name.
yeah,
Hey sis. That's Shantae.
yeah.
That's
So
my sis right there. Hey sis.
yeah, so that'll be interesting. So those are our two stories: the dog man, border collie Lassie, and Lizzo and her lawsuit. That's our in the news for this week. You're so stupid.
We
Woo.
appreciate the news, boy. We appreciate the news. Wow, what
Okay.
news we had this week. Woo! Oh,
Okay. So on to a little bit more of a serious topic, and this is I think what's interesting as we kind of discuss this tomorrow because we're like in two sort of different generations. You're in your mid 40s, and I'm about to turn 60 in December, and so we're in. When they talk about four scores, we're in sort of two different generations, and Libby would be in another generation, given the fact that she's in her early 20s. But if you've been following the news this week and you follow the economy and kind of see what's going on, the Yellow Corporation, which is a 99-year-old trucking company, laid off 30,000 employees recently. So, in addition to being laid off, that also meant, and prior to the actual layoff, because they were going to go on strike, they got the company was not contributing to their pension or health care. And I'm not sure if people fully understand how that works. But when you go to a company and if you have benefits, you pay so much and your company pays into the rest. And that's how you acquire your health benefits and your pension or your 401k. So in 2020, let's give a little backdrop. In 2020, Yellow Corporation received $70 million in pandemic funds to keep them going by the Trump administration. We're not talking about Trump, but I'm just saying, okay? $70 million. And less than 3 years later, they're still in trouble. Made an announcement to their employees that they were going to not contribute their half of their funds to the health care and to the pension. There was a video that was on Instagram that I saw where a gentleman was, and rightly so, very upset because he had been working for the company for 30 years. So, in fact, he was probably about ready to retire. Um, So there's some mismanagement there because when they were given the $70 million in pandemic funds, it was said that they had possibly was defrauding them, defrauding their contract with the military because they were doing some transportation of military equipment or whatever the case was, and they was allegedly they were there was some fraud there, but the Trump administration gave him the $70 million. That's a lot of money. I don't know who the CFO, chief financial officer, is, the finance person or whatever, but that's a lot of money that I would think should have kept you afloat and got you out of trouble and been able to sustain your company. So here we are now, 2023. They laid off 30,000 people who not only also got laid off, they may have gotten some severance, I don't know, severance package, but no health care and no pension. I will be 60 in December, and I have been working since I was 15 years old. So that's all of my life.
Woo! Boy. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That's why I'm the auntie. And this thing I pay into. I see your face called Social Security. Or my for I'm trying to imagine getting to that place. Say no, and Rami follows suit. Both of y'all wrong. Both of y'all wrong.
Shout out, hold on, hold
So
on. Shout out to my brother Sean, because Sean would definitely know about this because he's an actual
okay,
truck driver. So
okay,
I would,
okay.
I wish Sean could jump in here, but Ooh, hey, Sean, throw some stuff in here
Right.
because I know you know even that much more. Keep going, Auntie. I'm sorry.
So, so it came to my attention because while, as Jamal's point, while I'm not a trucker, as I said, you're in your mid 40s. I'm in a second career, about to turn 60 at the end of the year, and in possibly in 2 more years, I could reasonably start to draw my Social Security. And the government even tells you at what point you can begin to even draw from your 401k and your retirement and all that. They put stipulations. Sean said the union never paid. And because there's unions and teamsters involved with that. And for those of you who may know a little bit more about that, there was that debate between the teamsters and the union. I have an aunt that retired from RCA in Marion, Indiana, and my aunt swore if you wanted to get Aunt Mary cussing, talk about the union. She swore by the union. So whatever, thank you, Sean. The union didn't pay. So for whatever didn't get paid, here are these people. And so even watching an interview early this week, there's a woman said, she says, I've been with the company for a very long time. And so when you're with a company for a long time, naturally your skill sets change. So she's like, I don't have the skill sets to try to even go into this type of working environment now compared to what I did. So if you've been with a company 10 or 15 years, you're using their systems and maybe you're not familiar with technology because in my day when I first started working, you mailed your resume in. You don't
Right.
mail resumes in anymore. There was no such thing as some of the
Hey,
platforms now. Uh huh.
hold your thought real quick. How long
Uh
did it
huh.
take for the resumes to get to the companies
You
back?
regular mail. You read an ad in a paper, whatever, and you put a stamp on it, and you did a cover letter, and you mailed your resume. And if they were saying we're taking resumes up until such and such time, then you knew yours had to be postmarked by that time in order for it to be there. That's literally when I started working, and when I got out the Navy in the early '80s. That's literally how you obtained an interview or how you got your resume by regular mail or you called in and they said, okay, please mail me your resume.
Dang, I just learned
That's
something about
that's
history. I didn't know that.
that's obsolete. Yeah, that's obsolete. That's obsolete now. You know,
Learn something every day.
so when
I'm
you
sorry.
have platforms, yeah, absolutely. When you have, and that's why we're kind of having this discussion because I'm
Right.
familiar with that. So when you have
Yeah.
platforms like LinkedIn, so what the lady was saying, I don't have the skill set to for today's job market because when you do work for a company for 10, 15 years, you work their system and what they have. Well, it changes. Your social media and all that. I started substitute teaching through what I saw on Facebook. And I uploaded all of my information electronically. I transferred no paper. I didn't mail anything to anyone. If you're not familiar with how to do that, you're never going to be able to even apply for the job.
Right.
So it's that. So our question is tonight is how are you preparing for the future, whether you're at retirement age or not? How are you preparing? Many of us, and I'll say for me, I'm probably the last of the breed of people who stays on a job. I worked at, and I don't mind saying, I worked at Home Depot for 15 and a half years. I know for the generation up under me and for you guys and Libby, y'all not feeling being anywhere like that for that longer time. So that even looks different. But how are you preparing? How do you watch out for yourself so that is the company paying in like they're supposed to do? So are there other avenues? Are you preparing? Is it even a thought to you right now as to how you're preparing for the future, whether it be retirement or are you generating a second income through another business, such as, I am and we do with the other, platforms that we have to kind of prepare ourselves for that? How are you doing that? Are you even interested in, is it even appealing to you to know that you could work on a job for 30 years doing the same thing? Is that even appealing? See, you're shaking your head like that's not something that you would do.
I'm gonna tell you. This is a good topic because and I'm gonna use your generation. Let's use
Yeah.
it. Let's leave it
Yeah.
at that. Your generation was, as we were growing up, they told us, hey, get you a job, get that stability, get on that job and stay on that job for 30 years. So when it's time
Retire.
to retire, you have something going for you, 401k, the whole nine, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Times have truly changed because now
Yeah.
you have to a point where these jobs don't even, first of all, they don't respect you enough to want to keep you around for 30 years.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just being
True.
honest. You got to look at the turnaround as far as these companies are concerned. You have companies that with their turnarounds and everything, it's just beyond crazy how it's always about to happen in a way where it's just like, it's no way I'm about to stay with this company. First of all, my views and my thoughts and everything aren't even being recognized. First and foremost,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
the whole point of companies now, they are so big on my way or the highway, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
type of compromise when it comes to a lot of these companies. I feel like if it's not a mom and pop type of company, the big corporations, they don't care. They don't care at all. That's why I look at this. And this is something that I always tell people around me. When you're at a job, do your hours, whatever your time is, however many hours you have to do that time. That's cool, fine, and dandy. But when your time is up, be done with it. I'll use, for example, my wife, and she'll work crazy hours. And I
Mm-hmm.
sit up
Been
there at
been
times,
there. Yeah. Yeah.
I look at her and I'm like, why are you doing so many hours like this? I understand her position because of where she is at her job. So I get that part. But it's also a thing of, and I'm not wishing this, obviously, I'm definitely not wishing this on her. She dies, they hire somebody else, and the job keeps on going. And
Yeah.
that's the part that it's like, if that's how they look at you, why are you giving so much of your livelihood and your life and everything to these corporations? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, nah, man. It just doesn't, especially now. It really
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. And I understand why the Libby's generation and stuff, why they're doing what they're doing. On top of that, let me say something else to that, because to Libby's example as well as my example, and maybe even yours. Let's be real. All generations. Let's just do it that way, because I think it's universal when we think about it. Some, not all, but some of our parents, they went to high school and that was it.
Right.
But they
Correct.
also want to tell their children, hey, you got to go to college. You got to do this. You got to do that. But those kids are looking at us and going, once they get their mind, really at that
Right.
level, wait a
Right.
minute, hold on, hold on, hold on. You telling me to go to college and do this and do that? What did you do? And you tell me to do something you didn't even do. I understand what we try and push our children to be all that and be better than where we are. I'm all for that. But the examples that were set before us, it's kind of hard for children in any group, in any level, to look at stuff and go, hold on, man. Don't get mad at which way I want to do or generate or go with my life. If this is the way that I want to go, that's what I want to do. Nobody had it, or regardless of people having the issue and everything like that, whatever they want to do, that's what they want to do. Your lane is your lane. And that's something that I always respect. Libby, tell me if I'm lying. Libby is about to be, and I applaud her for how you push her. I applaud her for her drive and everything like that. Libby also knows the conversations I've had with her. And Libby knows that I've told her, if she didn't want to go to college, I'm not mad at you. You know why I'm not mad at you? Because that's not the end all be all to life. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's
Yeah.
not the way that you want to gear and move in that direction, I'm not mad at that because something else may jump off for you at this time in your life. So that's why when it comes to certain stuff and things like that now, I'm not mad. When Libby comes at me and I'm not going to go down the line, but she knows the conversations that we've had where I'm like, I've heard her. I'm about done with this. I'm ready to be over with this. If it wasn't for this, I only go to school for y'all. And I'm like, Libby, you don't gotta go to school for me. I
Right.
understand what your if that's what you don't want to go, baby, I still support you. I didn't finish college. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
who am I to tell you what to do when it comes to that? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I try to reason with life. Be honest with myself on life. Like I would love the best. I would that is so dope. And she only has a year left. But if Libby waited until days, she only had 3 more days left, and she was like, "I'm done with it." I'm not mad at her. I'm not. I'm genuinely not mad at her because she took her life into her own hands and chose to do exactly what she wanted to do. I hope and I hope she hears me. Libby,
Yeah.
please understand when I say this, and people have to think about this. Live your life as if your parents aren't around. And that's something big because if you live your life that way, you have no room. You have no rooms to go, man, I wish I would have did this. Man, I wish I would have did that. But my mom told me to do this, or my dad told me to do this, or my uncle told me to do that. How did you feel about doing it? Were you happy with that decision?
Yeah. And
Think on it.
there's some validity in what you're stating. I think in being a parent, so my mother didn't go to college, but then my mother also became a parent at 15 years of age.
Right.
I went in the military because I knew that emotionally and spiritually and all that, I was not ready to go. So I went in the military. That in itself got to be a huge issue and conversation and all of that at the house. And that's a different conversation. What I wanted for her in this case, when we talk about education, and that would be another different
Right.
thing, is to be prepared because if she decides to be an entrepreneur, so you're prepared to be able to deal with all those things from that perspective. I look back now at the age I am now, having followed all the traditional things that I was supposed to do, and go, gosh. And so now my creativity with my jewelry and when I do furniture and my nonprofit and just some of the things, even with this,
Right.
I'm like, gosh, could I have done it earlier? But I probably wouldn't have the foresight and the maturity of it. But part of what our conversation tonight is, how are you preparing for your future for those who can't fathom the fact that I would never go stay on anybody's job for 30 years? Got that. I get it. And in this day and time, I would not. But how are you preparing? Have you started a savings somewhere? Have you thought about a 401k? What are you doing to prepare? Because I get a notice every year about how much Social Security, I could possibly, but at the same time, I'm listening to the news that goes, you know what? I might look up in 2 years from now and they claim it may not even be there. Where is my money? Because I've paid into it. Again, I've been working since I was 15 years old. I've paid into it, but how are you preparing for yourself? I think Sean said, are you if you go to the union meetings, are you watching? Are you looking at your stuff? Are you listening to all of that? Are you just assuming that the company is doing the right thing by you? Is it even an issue for you? Are you like, you know what? I get there when I get there. I'm living this year as this year comes, and I'm not really worried about retirement and all that. That might be the same thing as well. I just, want anyone to be prepared. I went and got 3 theology degrees that I'm now using in school with children. But
Right.
what a professor said to me was, and old folks say, see, whatever happens, you can't come take my education from me. And the higher I have a graduate certificate and a graduate certificate in pastoral counseling. I said it to say, he says, but so when you speak, it gives you credibility. So it just again depends on what you realize you may want to do with that. I thought I would go to somebody's church and do something or nonprofit. It took me someplace else. All well and fine. It gives me a letter of credibility. But our conversation is, but how, when in whatever you're doing, however you're preparing yourself, if you're going to be new to the workforce, if you've been in the workforce, how are you preparing? Because I know I can't imagine to have worked for a company for 30 years who has now laid me off and I have no pension or little or no pension because you didn't mess with it at this point, and no health care benefits. Where what do we what where do I go with that? And how are these 30,000 people now getting ready to infiltrate and matriculate back into the workforce if you've been somewhere for that length of time and now you got to figure it out? I know people who don't. I use LinkedIn format. I use that quite often. I recommend it. That's foreign. That's a foreign language to some people. Has
Right.
to even attempt to do that. You know, in the backdrop, we talk about our social media pages, and that's how people network and some things. That's absolutely foreign to some people, or they don't know past the social funny aspect of it that that platform can be used to do some other things. But how are you preparing yourself for your future? Is what we want to know. How are you doing that? What does that look
Absolutely.
like for you?
Let me
You
say
know.
something also, real quick. We got 11,000 people in here right now. We only got one like. Please, y'all, hit that
Thank
like.
you.
Hit that like button. Please, come on, y'all, help us out. The algorithm. We want our algorithm to be a lot higher. We want more people to, see this show. Help us out, please, please. But we definitely appreciate you guys, tuning in and listening. Giving your thoughts and everything like that. So shout out to everybody that's definitely in the chat right now. We
Absolutely.
definitely appreciate
Absolutely.
y'all.
Absolutely.
you know but it's
Absolutely.
think about this before your generation. Okay.
My
You
mother's
had
generation.
your mother's generation. They
Mm-hmm.
had General Motors, they had Ford, they had all that, and they were
Mm-hmm.
staying on those
Mm-hmm.
companies and everything like that.
When they
30
were here in
years.
America, you could get out
Absolutely.
of high school, and with the high school education, and again, nothing wrong with that. You could take that and go and work for 30 years and no problem. There was a time you could go into the military and not have your high school diploma and get it while you were there, and then obtain additional education. And because of the way some of that's changed, you can no longer even do that. You have to have your high school diploma to get in. And I know a lot of um, guy friends and people say that had I not gone into the military, I'd have been some, I'd either would have been dead or in prison.
Right.
Went quickly and did that. But again, it's and I know folks who frown on even that avenue. I have a lot of folks in my generation, both men and women, who went in the military, and I have people I've gotten in conversations about, and that's another story. Why would you go when they don't? I went because it's what I needed to do. It gave me some education.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
who now have education, went to see places that they never would have had the opportunity to see, experience, skill set, and all of those wonderful things. That's what worked for me. I know it wouldn't have worked for Libby. That was my avenue. And then, some years later, I went to college to obtain. But I'm asking, and so I look back now and went, Kim, had you just, where I would have retired from the military had I done 20 at 39 with full retirement. I could almost kick myself in the head now. 39
But that's
with full
hindsight. That's
retirement.
hindsight.
It's hindsight, but
That's hindsight. I
you
feel
know,
you. We can all say certain things in our lives that we can go back and say, man, I wish I would have stuck with,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
whatever, whatever.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Instead of living it out and doing whatever was needed. Life is all about pivoting. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Which is going to
exactly.
be the next thing that you're going to do. Because
Right.
ultimately, what we sit up here and we think in our head, oh, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to stay here, for the rest of my life. And I'm going to do this. One of the easiest jobs. And I'm not lying when I say this. I used to be a press operator. So when it came down to doing newspapers and stuff like that, I knew the ins and outs and how to do newspapers and so forth. Thought that job, I was going to be there arguably for the rest of my life. It was that simple. When's the last? there are a few newspaper companies now. The newspaper
Mm-hmm.
company that I work for doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like
Yeah.
certain things evolve with time. You just have to learn how to pivot. Go on.
But can I ask that question? And we this was, could you have taken that skill set and done something else with it? Because that's not a skill set when you talk about that. And I, know that, could you have done something else with it so you have that up under your background? But you're absolutely right. I I there prior to Home Depot, the other three jobs I worked for, those companies, I worked for TRW. That company no longer exists. The
Right.
company's I
Right.
mean, I have a group of girlfriends. We were like, went in and the last, you look at our resume going where they can't call it a reference because the reference doesn't exist because the company doesn't exist.
Right.
Absolutely. That changes. But I also, got to a point where that's where I started my 401k and allowed that to grow and learn how to move that along. But I just, how are people planning? How are you preparing for the future? And like I said, maybe some of you like, you know what, not at all. But while we having this conversation, thank you for that because you can start your own mutual fund through your bank. You can go buy certificate of deposits. They call CDs. Somebody said, I told somebody I bought a new CD and it was like, I said, no, baby, a certificate of deposit at the bank to put, are you aware of that? Some of us weren't taught um, finances. Libby has gotten on me about that. And but it wasn't a conversation I had with anyone in my family. I'm much more smarter about it now. But how are you preparing when we're looking at companies? That company was almost 100 years old and it's gone.
Hmm.
30,000 people out of jobs.
Think about
How are
this.
you
My mom,
preparing?
my mom, and I know she's in the background. She probably watching. She's not gonna comment or
Mm-hmm.
anything. Shout out to my
Mm-hmm.
mom. Hey, mom. My mom was at General Motors
General
for
Motors.
20 something years. I don't even remember how many years. And they've moved her from state to state. You know what I'm
Like working
saying?
for
My mom has
IB.
had everything and then some. And now, like, she ended up leaving and they went under. You know what I'm saying? She had to
Mm-hmm.
figure it out, go and do another
Mm-hmm.
job. My mom has been, for my mom to go, you couldn't have never told me. My mom, first of all, let me break this down. You could have never told me that my mom was going to move from California to Atlanta and then from Atlanta to Charlotte and then from Charlotte to Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have never told me my mom was going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a
Mm-hmm.
mere fact of you just have to pivot in life and you have to continue on going. There is no right or wrong type of answer to what somebody is supposed to do with their life. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because
Correct.
your life is your life. And that's the thing. When you say prepare for it, I'm gonna bring up something. I heard a story about this lady. She lived, I don't remember, she worked for X amount of years or whatever. And she worked so many hours and, she just dedicated herself to that job, so on and so forth. Oh, when I'm, down to retire, I can go on these trips and do this and do that and
Yeah.
blase, blase. You look at how to prepare for the future. That lady ended up dying before
Yeah.
any of that pension and everything like
Many
that.
stories are
How are
like
you
that.
supposed to
Yes.
how are you supposed to sit up here and enjoy your life on something when you're looking beyond tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why when it comes to it, there is no right or wrong answer to future because tomorrow is not promised to us. And that's the thing that I look at because guess what? Go do it before it's too late. That's just my opinion. Don't mean
Yeah.
that it's fact.
Yeah. Let me just throw this in here. Please make sure if you have retirement pension 401k that you have gone in to make sure that your beneficiaries are properly listed. Otherwise, that money will sit. So if it's not a first beneficiary, a second, please make sure you take care of those administrative things. Please make sure you have some small life insurance policy somewhere. I'm going to say this. I know I'm going to piss some people off. If I see one more person post about a GoFundMe so I can bury my dog or my auntie, I'm gonna throw up. You there are companies that you can obtain insurance policy for little as $35, $40 a month that at least give you enough life insurance to be able to properly bury your loved one. We need to be that disciplined. I'm going to say that. Y'all can come for me. I'm just going to go there.
Now, I'm gonna say that. Okay, you said that. Now, to some people's defense, everybody is not taught that.
So I
Because
threw
you
it out
understand
there.
that and know that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not taught that. So some things that we see and look at, I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. My dad didn't teach me to, hey, out there and do this and go out there and do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I hear a bunch of this, it's new to me. It's new information to me because people who don't know my background, my daddy was in the streets like that. So streetwise, I got a
You
degree in that.
covered.
Trust me.
Yeah, you covered.
Yeah. I got my
Yeah, yeah.
master's and then some. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
Double master, triple
Right.
masters in that
Right.
part. I'm good
Right.
on that. The book knowledge, the
Right.
the the, the actual knowledge behind it and everything. Bless my mom. You know what I'm saying? She did everything in the best and still to this day to try and teach me this stuff because she's also learning it as she goes along. So a lot of this stuff we're still learning as we go. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not
Right.
as
Right.
as simple because some people actually got that information. May it be a cousin, may it be somebody else who's been around them.
Right.
It has been difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the ones that are around. I don't act like I know everything because guess what? I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm humble enough to sit up here and listen to somebody. Libby can come at me. Hey, let me break something down to you and tell you about this. Teach me, show me how it's done. Because guess what? All you gonna do
Absolutely.
is make us each and every person that comes around better. It's a thing from Outkast back in the
Right.
day. Each one teach one. I stand on that.
Right.
I believe in that.
Right.
Dennis is in here. Rami's in it. They know I stand on that when I say that. Each one teach one is for real. Because at the end of
Right.
the day, there are so many people. Common sense ain't common. And
No,
I hate when people say,
I have a
and I
dear
hate
friend
when
that
people
says
come
common
around and they
sense ain't
say
common.
that. Because when you tell people, oh my gosh, that's common sense, how you don't know that? Because what you're taught is one thing. They may not have been taught that. So to sit up here
Correct.
and to judge somebody behind what they're not taught on, you got to ease up on stuff because everybody wasn't taught that. I can teach people, I can look at somebody and say basketball. I can use that all day. How you not know how to dribble basketball? It's common sense how to dribble basketball. It ain't that simple to everybody. So people have to gauge and look at certain things and say, hold on, how can I teach somebody to understand stuff? That's why Rami helps me to articulate my words and not judge people in that way. And I appreciate her because that lets me know that, hey, hold on. It's not about common sense. It's about how we were taught, how we were raised in certain things.
Understood.
Because she's
Understood.
been certain things and seen certain things, and I'm like, dang, that is dope. I wasn't, I didn't see that growing up. I saw this portion of life, and I went that way. So it's like when I hear certain things and, learning from her. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, ma'am. No, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. I grew up in an area in a life. I'm just being honest because I'm from the West Coast. It was, hey, when you saw somebody, and I'm just using this as an example, but if I saw you, it'd have been, hey, Kim, how you doing? In the South, it's like, whoa, whoa, Kim, that ain't her name. That's Miss Kim. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference in teaching. So when people look, how you not know that? I wasn't raised that way. So
Right.
now when I'm looked at in that aspect, it's like, hold on, pump your brakes now. You gotta slow down stuff, simplify things
Right.
for other people to understand. Because everybody can look stupid depending on whatever circumstance or
Right.
situation we're talking about.
Right. So I feel you now. So that's why. So that's a nugget that I want to throw out there. That please make an effort while we all on the computers and Google and all of that. You can obtain an insurance policy. I'm not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can obtain, go get your little life insurance policy so that in the event that something happens, that your loved ones and family can properly bury you. I want to be cremated. I'm just throwing it out for sake of conversation. So I'm not looking for no $10,000 casket to come rolling down up in the church and all of that and that whatnot anyway.
Same with
But
me.
do that so that and it grows across economics and all racial barriers. I see it all the time. And you just, some things I'm just saying, to attempt to be disciplined for $35 a month, you can go and get yourself a reasonable, a minimal life insurance policy to protect yourself. It may not leave enough for somebody to do anything with, but at least to bury you in decency and give a little bit left over. But I'm also saying that you have to make sure your beneficiaries are in order, because that'll sit. I just want to just throw that out there.
I don't blame
That's
you.
a Kimism. That's okay. Okay.
I don't blame
Because
you. When it's time for me to go,
yeah.
when it's
It's
time for me
just
to go, you can do whatever. You can take my ashes and burn me at the barbecue for all I care. I ain't there no more. So it don't really matter to me what you do with me. I ain't here. I don't care. You can bury me over there by the flowers for all I care. I don't care. You do whatever you want to with me. Just get your money, save your money, do what you need to do.
I will not go to a barbecue the same way now, thinking that your ashes might be on that grill somewhere. I don't. You done gave somebody some ideas. Please, please, please. Thank you. Someone says, so happy the children in our community are now enrolled in financial readiness classes in Douglasville. Absolutely. 100 Black men also offer this for young men in partnership. Thank you. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking. Those are the type of things that we need to do. Absolutely. Thank you
Yep.
for that. Absolutely.
Absolutely
We
appreciate that
have
one.
to, yeah, because we have to learn. It's the same conversation that we've seen many of our entertainers have. I loved Isaac Hayes to death, and Isaac Hayes died damn near penniless because the accountant and whoever, and there's been many of those, did off with his money. And so it's like, how how is that? It's all well and fine to have someone to handle that for you, but you need to be savvy enough and have discipline to let, okay, but once a month we're going to go over the books. Last in April I had $5,000. This month I got $20. Where did that under 4,000 and whatever? Where did that go to?
Right.
Libby says
Right.
she wished she had financial literacy classes in school.
See
You
what I
have to be
mean?
smart enough. Yeah, yeah. And I'm her mom, and she's
See
saying
what
that
I'm saying?
absolutely, because I didn't get it. Absolutely, yeah,
And
yeah.
see
I
that
can't.
everybody
Yeah,
doesn't know that. See
yeah,
my point now? That's why
yeah.
when it comes to stuff, thank you, Libby. Thank you, baby. When it comes to certain stuff like this, it's like, see, we are the actual teachers. We have to teach
Correct,
the ones, you know what I'm saying?
correct,
Regardless of
correct,
age. You know what I mean? There
correct,
is no age to, nobody has everything down. And that's the part
correct.
that we have to recognize and pay attention to. Like, hey, you know what? I wish I learned this. I wish I learned that. And that's not a problem with, you know what I'm saying? Actually opening our mouths and saying, hey, can you help
Yeah,
me out with doing such and such? Rami comes at me and she's like, you know what? I wish, we would have learned this. Hey, maybe you need to think about, this and in that way. She broadens my horizon on thoughts that I've never even thought about in a
right,
lot of aspects of my life. So when it
right.
comes down to it, and I appreciate her each and every day. I say it behind closed door. I say it on here because you just have to know and understand, like, hold on, man, what is it that we're trying to do? And I'm an open book about myself because I could care less how other people other than my circle and my circle knows who.
Right, right.
Outside of that, I can care less about how you feel about me. Each and every day I'm trying to get better because I'm always trying to unlearn the negative stuff that I've learned in my life. So it's like now to sit
Absolutely.
up here and learn the positives, i.e., I use, for example, you, what you've taught me and what I've learned from you. what Libby has taught me, what I've learned from her, what Quinn has taught me, what I've learned from him. You know, it's certain things that I
Right.
pay attention. Dennis has taught me. Sean has taught me. It's people in here that have taught me. Everybody's taught me something. I'm just throwing names out quickly, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just knowing these certain things. I'm a sponge, even at 43, because I want to be better. I want to understand that this is going on or that's going on or how is this done or how is that done. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it's life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
I'm trying not to be more closed off to a lot of things because you never know, if you try it, you may actually like it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I've been camera shy for so long about something till I just say, you know what? The hell with it. Let me get up here and do this. Because if I
Right.
don't do it, I never know where I would get if I never did this. And now I love doing this. Now I
Yeah.
appreciate having each and every Saturday we can have a show, you and I together, and we can speak on these things, hopefully help each other out as well as the
Right.
people who are
Right.
on here and
Yeah.
enjoying this.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. Trust me, I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think I had a conversation and Levy was laughing. She said, "You guys got serious." And I think we both agreed we wanted to laugh a little bit. And I love having you as a co-host on this. But as we talk during the week about different subjects, again, this yellow freight thing just like slapped me in the face. I've never driven trucks, but I just that whole piece, and I just want us to talk about. So, how are you preparing? Because my heart ached for the man on that video, listening to the HR guy, the company representative, tell them that you know what, we are not going to be able to fund and put our amount into your pension and health insurance. Whoa. He said, man, I've given y'all 30 years of my damn life. What the bleep are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? And so,
Right.
it's kind of good to have this conversation. So we're going to joke some and then we're going to be real about some stuff. But I thought about you and I, like I said, we're two different generations. Libby's another
Absolutely.
generation. I have friends who, since I've been here in Georgia, I don't have very many female friends that were in the military or, and they like, girl, how'd you do that? And everybody, that type of thing. I did, but to your point, I did what I needed to do. I knew I was not ready for
Absolutely.
college. I was in small town Indiana. RCA was already laying off. I wasn't going to be able to go in there and work like that and do that. I said, you know what? And I spent my senior year of high school knowing I would be going into the Navy after I got out. I made that decision. Did I like it? Not necessarily, but I did what I had to do. But now I'm sitting in a
Absolutely.
room in a house that I got into off my VA loan. I did what I had to do. I'm glad I had
Absolutely.
that much of that, whatever that is. But again, we just want to throw that question out. How are you preparing for your future?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
you gotta think about that. Gone are the days where, so to be truthful with you, gone are the days of yellow freight anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Think about
Gone are
this
the
too.
days.
Think about this. And I'm just using a small scale. Think about all these kids, grown-ups as well, that are going around to malls and department stores and stealing. You know that malls are about to be obsolete in a minute because of that situation.
Because of
Like,
that.
these are certain things that are about to happen, regardless of whether we like it or not. I don't even remember, and I'm being honest when I say this, I don't remember the last time I've been in a mall. I don't remember because we
Well,
are so privy to walk or to shopping online because they've made it so easy, they've made it so convenient, and it is what it is. Go on.
I'm a, I'm gonna flip you on that. I go, but I'm a little frightened up there because the young folks, y'all, to your point, it's nothing for the young folks to be in there smashing and grabbing and whatever, shooting in the food court and all that. And what was once like just a leisure time, like, oh, I'll just kind of go through the
Right.
mall and walk through the stores. Auntie walked on there. I got my I got my crossbody on. I'm kind of walking and looking. I walk in if there's too many young folks. I don't necessarily go to the food court and sit like that. There's a little restaurant in one of the malls I go to on the end, and I go in there where there's nobody but me and the people kind of working and a few people. So while the how you shop changed, even the comfort or the or whatever that was to even go and shop for me has changed because I
Yeah,
can't deal with some of what's going on. It's a little bit too much for me,
absolutely.
you know. So
Absolutely.
that's changed. I'm just not. I'm just. I don't feel as safe. I am not. Yeah. And with the smash and grab, I mean, they've even changed the laws to where you know what companies are like it, you know what, y'all go ahead on out there with that. They're writing it off because they're not, because if I were to stop somebody as a security guard smashing and grab, I'm going to lose my job for trying to stop you. I just want to walk through the mall and walk in Dillard's or JC Penney's or someplace and look, maybe try some stuff on, look at some bedding. I'm old school, look at the china and all that. It's not even safe to do that like that anymore with some of the stuff going on.
Not at
So
all.
do I brought all my equipment for this podcast online. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was like,
Right.
nephew, tell me what
Right.
do I, okay, click, hit a button. But, it would have been a time I'd have gone, and I'm dating myself, I'd have gone into a Radio Shack or Best Buy and did
Ooh,
that. But
Radio Shack.
Radio
Circuit
Shack, I
City.
could, back in the day, I could have gone and did that and brought it home and did whatever, but I'm not even comfortable. That's the word I'm looking
Absolutely.
for. Necessarily
Yeah.
walking through the mall at that. And then if I do speak, somebody say, look at me, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, because they're like, okay, she spoke like she had some sense. I run in and come on up out of there now. I don't even stay like, get off of work and just, ooh, I'm just going to go. I don't, it's not comfortable. Yeah.
Folks ain't window shopping no more.
They're
They
not
they
window.
they they hitting they hitting them
They
windows
take
now.
it. They taking the window, the whole
I
window. Yeah,
mean, yeah, legit.
yeah,
Literally
yeah.
breaking them windows and getting what they
Taking the
need
window
to, whole safes and everything. So
and
be
running
careful
out.
out here, people. Be
Yeah,
careful, man.
yeah.
Watch your
Okay.
surroundings. I always tell my peoples, keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, it's we've gone over just a little bit, but important
Absolutely.
conversation that we wanted to have. So again, you guys can feel free. If you have a conversation that you would like for us to discuss, feel free to hit us up by our email address at getthebelt23@gmail.com. We've got our social media page. We have our Facebook and our Instagram page, both by the same name. You'll see our logo on there. Hit us up. If somebody has a belt they would like for me to wear, please mail it to us so that I can sport it and talk about it and all that good stuff. We appreciate everyone who came on and all the comments and support. It means the world of us. As Jamal said, please hit the like button. We have a goal of some things we want to do
Absolutely.
here and how we want that
Absolutely.
to go. So your support and hitting the buttons means a great deal to us. Invite a friend. I don't think I have any jewelry events next week, so you'll catch us. You'll catch us here the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. Thank you so much, nephew. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Okay. Okay. Love you too, baby. Bye.
All
Bye.
right.
Bye.
Later.
Thanks, guys. Bye.